Hi, welcome. Oh goodness, thanks for joining. I hope you had a great day. I know that I did. I live for student engagement, and today I did an activity from ucubed.org, and the kids are really into it. They were asking questions. Hey, can I have another sheet? I want to try again, and they want to do it tomorrow. So that's all we live for as teachers, is when students are really excited about our lessons. So I'm having a fantastic day, and I'm really excited to share with you about Autocrat to automate Google Forms. So we are #back to classroom. And so if you would please share these tips and more using the hashtag on all of your social media channels of Back to Classroom. So at Back to Classroom, we're looking at what works well with Google Classroom. These are Google Classroom tips and things that work with Google Classroom, like, of course, Autocrat, which is what I'm going to show you today. Also works really well with Google Classroom is Adobe, Screencastify, Moat, and of course, Schoolitics. So please try and incorporate all of these things in, not all of them, pick a few to use them with Google Classroom this year so you can do even more. All right, go to the next one. We're using www.backtoclassroom.org. If you'll join the Facebook group, that's www.backtoclassroom.org. And for some reason, it makes you push enter twice. But you'll be able to join into the Facebook group where we are sharing all kinds of Google Classroom tips, along with tips about Adobe, Moat, Screencastify, Schoolitics, and many other things. Okay, let's get to it. What is Autocrat? Well, you're going to start with a Google form. I know we're all using Google Forms, or at least we want to, because it's the best thing since sliced bread. And so what I've been getting is several messages for this last week, which is why I'm doing this session. It says, Alice, I have people fill out the form and I want to send out an email based on who responded. Like, they want me to send, sometimes it responds to the nurse and sometimes responds to the principal. I said, I would use Autocrat. So what you have is a situation where students or teachers or staff or parents, somebody's filling out a Google form, and then you need some action to happen after they fill out the form. So tonight I'm just going to show you a really quick intro to Autocrat, and another time we can go deeper. Okay, so Autocrat specifically is an add-on for Google Sheets. It's an add-on for Google Sheets. So of course you want a spreadsheet. And to me, that's the best part of Google Forms, is of course that it goes to a spreadsheet. So your first step is to make a Google form and make sure it connects to a spreadsheet. Then what we're going to do is we want to take what's in the spreadsheet and we want to merge it with either a Google Doc or a Google Slides, or actually you could even merge it with another Google Sheet. So some sort of a template. You have a template and you want to merge these responses and have action happen after they fill out the Google form, and we want to email it to them. So that's why I have the Gmail icon right there. So this is a common thing. So let's say that students do a form on a Google quiz. Well, how do you give back some feedback to the students? That can be challenging. So what you can do is you can use Autocrat to merge their responses from the Google form into a Google Doc along with your feedback and email it to them. Hey, here's your responses from the quiz. Update them based on my feedback. You could be an administrator and you're walking around doing classroom observations and you fill out instead of filling out a clipboard, you fill out a Google form. Of course, you want to report back your observation to the teacher. So automatically you hit send and the teacher receives a report about your classroom observation. So many great ways to use Autocrat. This is definitely something we all need. Okay, so I'm going to just demonstrate this really quick for you. And if you have any questions, please put it in the chat, the conversation, the comments, and I'd love to answer your questions. So I have created a quick quiz, and I just have a few questions in here just to demonstrate, and I had filled it out. And if you would like to fill this out, you can as well, just to see what that looks like. Now, what I'm going to want is a spreadsheet. So I have to go to the Responses tab and click on the spreadsheet icon. I'm going to click on this spreadsheet icon, and I'm going to create a new spreadsheet. And now all of my responses from the Google form are going to go into the Google Sheets spreadsheet. Yes, when the form gets filled out, it goes to the spreadsheet. Now I can add a column. I'm just going to left click here. I'm going to insert one to the left, and I'm going to call this feedback. Hi, Krista. This is a good effort, but they are all wrong. Hi, Mike. Thanks for responding. Take a look at that first answer again. Larry, you're killing it. Keep up the good work. All right, so what did I do is I added a column, and you can just use a column at the end or anywhere you want. I inserted it, and I left feedback based on their quizzes. So now what I'd like to do is to create a really nice report from this spreadsheet that I can email back to the students. So the first thing I need is a template. So I'm going to go to docs.new. I'm going to create a brand new doc, and I'm going to call it quiz feedback. All right, and I'm going to put my Bitmoji in here because that's what I always do. I might have a slight Bitmoji addiction. Okay, I'm going to resize this, and this is the quick quiz results. Hello. Now here is the kicker right here. Here's what you need to know is you're creating a template. So I want to give a report back to each person that fill out the form. So if I have 100 people fill out the forms, I want 100 different Google Doc reports. And again, you could have it do it in slides or sheets if you would rather have the reports in a different medium. So what you have to know is how to use merge tags. So I'm going to do hello, less than, name, greater than. Now I'm going to make this font larger because I want to just pause here so that you can see what my merge tags are. It's that less than, greater than. And so this is where I want their name to go. Hello, name, and whatever their name is. So you create these generic spots by using the less than, greater than. Okay. You did the quiz. Here is my feedback. And I'm going to do less than, feedback, greater than. I'm going to make this a little smaller. Smaller, that's font size there. And I'm also going to make this smaller. And because that's where the feedback goes, just for fun, I'm going to make it a handwriting font. Why am I doing that? Just so I can show you that I can fully customize this Google Doc. I can put in pictures. I can put in hyperlinks. I can change the font size, the font style. I can do anything I want to this and say, on question 1, you answered Q1. On question 2, you answered Q2. All right, so I have a generic Google Doc that I've created, and anywhere that I want to merge from the spreadsheet into a document, I'm going to use these merge tags. So I'm just going to pause for a second so you can see. You make up the merge tags. You decide what goes in between the less than, greater than, and you have to have basically a code. What do you want to code it? So I said Q1 is, question 1 is Q1, right? I made that up. I just made it up. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the Google Sheets. Now I've already installed Autocrat. Let me paste this into the comments. Here is how you install Autocrat. Okay, there it goes. So you want to install it so that when you're in any Google Sheets, you're going to be able to see Autocrat right in the add-ons menu. I've already installed it, and when to install it, you have it. So I created a Google form. I made sure I had a spreadsheet for my form, and I created something where I could merge this information from the form into, and And I'm going to use the add-on menu and choose Autocrat. So I'm going to launch Autocrat. Now, to be honest, this is like killing an ant with an elephant gun. It is so powerful and it has so many features. And we're just going to do something really basic right now. We're just going to do a basic merge. But as you get more into Autocrat, you're going to see there's so many things that you can do. So again, I'm just showing you a basic, but you can do really complex. So I told you the initial situation where you wanted to email the report based on certain criteria of who gets the report. You certainly can do that, but it is a little bit more advanced feature. So I'm not going to cover that right now. I'm going to do a new job. I'm going to call this job name Quiz Feedback. You can call that whatever you want. And then I'm choosing my template. That's that Google form that I just made. So, oops, it'd be great if I did that. Okay, all right, so let me go back. I can name it whatever I want. And then I'm going to choose my template from Google Drive. And I'm looking for that Google Doc that says Quiz Feedback. And here it is. I'm going to select that. I'm going to click Next. Yep, Next. Now here's the thing. I need to merge or match up the merge tags with the columns in the spreadsheet. So which column matches with which merge tag? So let's take a look. I have name in the spreadsheet. I have name under name. So that one's easy. So notice that's the column header is name. And feedback is in a column that I said was feedback. And Q1 is going to be in the column that says what color is Red Riding Hood's hood. And Q2 is in the column that says who is the wolf. Okay, so it's going to take their responses. And then I'm just going to do next. Now what's going to happen is for each response, it's going to make a copy of that Google form and personalize it. So you're going to just give it a file name if you want. I don't think that's required. File settings. Oh, yes. So this is how I can name what the file looks like once it makes the copy. So I want it to say quiz results for, now this is a little sneaky. You see that blue bar on there? And that blue bar, you want to click it. And when I click on the blue bar, it expands out and it shows me all of my merge tags, or the column headers rather. It shows me all of the column headers. So you want to make sure that you use this to insert into the template here for the email and for the file name. So I'm going to say name. Now when I click on it, that copied it to my clipboard so that I can Control V paste. Don't type these yourself. Please use this little blue thing that pops out. You click on it. Here is your feedback. Okay, now here's the problem. I don't want to put all of that feedback into the subject line of my file doc. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Just wanted to show you that I could. Now, what do I want to make? Do I want to make a Google Doc or do I want to make a PDF? So I'm going to create a Google Doc. I'm going to click Next. If you want, you can choose a folder. Now, I'm obviously not doing this for reals. I'm trying to show you how this works. So I'm going to come down and I think I have a folder called Delete. Pretty sure. Yep. All right, so I'm going to put this in this Delete folder and I'm going to put Next. I'm going to skip this one. You don't need the dynamic folder reference. The merge conditions is an advanced feature, so I am not going to do that. So that says only merge, only send the email, only do something if it meets certain criteria. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Next. Now here's the thing. It can make a certificate. It could make a Google Doc. It can make a Google Slides. It can make a report. It can make anything you want along those lines. But then you can choose to send it and share it with the person or just keep it to yourself. So say I'm doing classroom observations of students. I want to make reports, but I don't want to send those classroom observations to the students. So I would say no. But in this case, I'm going to say yes. I do want to share it. And how do I want to share it? Because you can share it as an editable doc, as view only, as comment only, as anyone with the link can view or edit, or you can turn it into a PDF. So the first one, when I made a Google Doc, that Google Doc is for me. That Google Doc will be in my drive. Now, what am I sharing with the person that I said I wanted to send it to? And I have a lot of choices here. So what I've done is I've made a quick quiz. I want them to update their answers based on my feedback. So I'm going to choose editable doc, but a lot of times I make it view only doc or PDF. I use those a lot. Do I want to let the collaborators reshare? So can they share it with somebody else? No, I don't want the students to share it with someone else. Don't want to send it from a generic email. No, I'm going to send it from myself. And now I'm going to design the email. We have someone who says they use this every year. We all should be using this every year, totally, for our login cards. Anything where you've got a list of student information and you need to make one per student, Autocrat is the answer for that. Thank you for chiming in on that. We have a question. How could you have had something happen based on your answer? So thanks for asking that. I don't have enough time today to answer that, but remember in one of the previous options, it said that there was conditions. Under what conditions would you choose something to happen? That's definitely a little bit more advanced. So I'm going to keep it simple tonight for those who have never used Autocrat. But if you go to YouTube and look up Autocrat, there's a ton of videos that'll show you how to do some of the more advanced features. And maybe later I will do another one to answer that question. So sorry that I can't do that right now for you, but maybe someday. Okay, so remember, you want to pop out this blue little slider thing because you don't want to type any of these. So I'm going to get there. I'm going to do email address because I want to send it to the email address. Oh, Carolyn, no, your school isn't blocked. There's no reason for that. Autocrat is created by New Visions, which is a really wonderful company in New York for education. They do a lot of partnerships with Google. They are a good company and they're safe. So I totally vouch for them. I hope that your school will get it unblocked. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm designing this email. So in the to line, make sure you put the email address of who the email is sent to when you share it. So I'm sending it to the email. I want to reply. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, in the subject line, I want to be, here is your feedback. I'm going to go get their name. Just click on it, copies it to my clipboard. I can Control V paste. Like, hello, name. I have given you feedback in the Google Doc. Now, I could actually just construct the whole feedback in here. Here is your feedback. Blue pop out, click on feedback, Control V paste. Please open the Google Doc and update your answers. So I'm going to design the whole email using those tags. Those are the column headers from the spreadsheet. I'm going to click next. Now this is really important. This is where we want the trigger. Do you want, when the form is filled out, that it automatically sends the report? Usually no. In this particular case, I shouldn't say usually. In this case, no. Usually for quizzes, because I want to be able to insert feedback. So I'm going to insert the feedback and I'm going to manually run my Autocrat instead of automatically run it. So if you are doing it where you're doing classroom observations and you want to send, as soon as you fill out the form, you want to send a report about your observation, you would want to say yes. You want to run it on a form trigger, yes. The time trigger says it's going to merge all these. It's going to do it all at once at a certain time. So if you know you're going to be done by 4 o'clock, then you can do it on a time trigger so that they'll all go out at once so nobody gets the feedback in advance.
Time to go to church.
And I have an Alexa that reminds me. Okay, so that is it. I'm going to go ahead and click save.
I'm reminding you, time to go to church.
And once this little bar comes up, it allows me to run the job. So I'm going to go ahead and run my Autocrat. Because all those ones I already had, I can't have it do it on form submit because the form's already submitted. So you can run it manually, but now when I do a form and I submit it, it's going to do it automatically. So if you can see over here on the right side, it says merge doc ID. it is creating all of these documents and it's sending these reports. Okay. So you can see over here that it says, it just adds these extra columns. It shows me this is the document. So I open it up. It says, hello, LJ. I didn't give you any feedback because you filled it out after I did the feedback, but you answered green, an antagonist. And then I'm going to click here on this one for Larry Lyon. So you'll notice the document name says quiz results for Larry Lyon. It says, hello, Larry Lyon. You did the quiz here and you're killing it. Keep up the good work. On question 1, you answered red, and on question 2, you answered antagonist. So for each row, what Autocrat did is it made a Google Doc and personalized it for each row in my spreadsheet, and I told it, send it to them. So LJ, since you filled this out, you should have gotten an email with your Google Doc with your results from the quiz. All right, that is the very basics, the very, very basics of using Autocrat. It's a really powerful tool, and so that's just to get you started is how to use that. So I hope that was helpful. I'm going to come on back here. Using Autocrat to automate from Google Forms, create a Google form, make sure it goes to a spreadsheet, design a Google Doc with merge tags, and then run Autocrat from the add-ons menu. And those are going to be your steps so that you can go back to Classroom. If you have any other questions, please feel free to put it in the chat and I'll try to answer them. Otherwise, have a wonderful night and make sure that you join us at www.backtoclassroom.org.